Hi guys, so the Marvels is in even hotter water right now because the Hunger Games has been in the theater for a few days now, meaning less and less people would buy the ticket to watch the Marvels. The Marvels is currently second worst movie of MCU movie, 32 of them since 2008. The first, I believe it was Iron Man. The worst movie of MCU in terms of income is still The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one in 2008. However, there is still time for the Marvels to take that place from The Incredible Hulk as the worst movie of MCU. And it is likely to be like that because it seems like they have not been making a lot of money after their release date. And the Marvels is another product of the woke culture. To be honest, I kind of feel bad for anyone that involved in the Marvels, the actresses and all of them, because I think they are just victims of woke culture. People behind the idea of making girl boss superhero Marvel movie are the main culprit in this situation. Maybe you could say the higher ups in Disney, because Disney has been doing this for a few years now, pushing woke culture, trying so hard to have strong independent woman girl boss movie, and I'm happy to say most of them in the last few years are flops. And it seems like the higher ups in Disney started to realize that they should stop being woke and should just stop pleasing those Twitter people, stop pleasing woke people. One thing I have to praise those woke people is they did a very good job in persuading so many people in the world, so many rich and powerful people to follow their agenda, promote wokeness. I believe wokeness is just a conspiracy by a small number of people, but they successfully spin the news, spin the media, create the narrative, and make people believe that a lot of people in this world have the same idea as them, and that already shown by the numbers of those woke movies. A lot of them not even break even, a lot of them lost money, so that reflected that most people don't like woke idea, don't like woke era. I'm glad that us, the audiences, have been voting by our wallets to not buy the ticket of those woke movie, and that sends a message to the higher ups in Disney. I believe from now on they would stop being woke, stop pleasing woke people, and there would be more boobs. Basically just show boobs sell, they have to admit that, and put some real joke in the movie. Joke and comedy supposed to be offending to some certain group of people. If you try to impress everyone, try to make a joke that not offend anyone, you would have no joke, you would have those woke movie. So be more bold, just ignore Twitter people, those woke people. However, because nowadays so many people decided not to buy the ticket to watch woke movie to send a message, I believe some movies have been victims of that belief. Hunger Games, the new Hunger Games, also one of that. I believe many people thought this is a woke movie, another woke movie. But I just left the theater a few hours ago. I just watched this movie, and I would like to say this is not a woke movie. This is not a lazy written movie. I think I would give this Hunger Games 8 out of 10. Maybe you would wonder my standards. So I would give the Marvels 5 or 4 out of 10 so that you might have some idea about my standards. So the Hunger Game, I like it a lot. Maybe because in my country, oppression have been one of the most serious topic for the last maybe forever. maybe that is the reason I like this movie a lot. I like how they're telling the story about lives of people under oppression, story about clashes of classes, story about upper class people see lower class people less than a human, and also what would one survive under dictatorship, under nepotism, because in Hunger Game world, if you happen to born as a child of upper class people in the capital, your life is already set for. You would be happy for the rest of your life financially, and also a lot of freedom in your life. You could be anything you want to be. On the other hand, if you happen to born as a child of anywhere outside the capital, even worse if you born as a lower class, there is almost no way for you to thrive in this life. How hard you try to work, there would be no chance for you to have a better life. And that is dictatorship, and that is oppression. Upper class would have all the opportunities in life that they would get, and lower class people would just be lower class people until the rest of their life. And also, it's not like some first world country in Europe that treat people very good. Some countries in Europe have great benefits, support their citizens, but in this movie they would treat you like just an animal. So I like that a lot. And also about President Snow in his younger years. So this would not consider as a spoiler because we already knew about President Snow, that in the end he would turn out to be that President Snow. This movie is about when he was younger and more naive. And I like a lot how they tell the story of young President Snow, and it is very believable how one person that seemed to be a good person and likely to be good person when they grow up, but because the oppression, the struggle, nepotism, he has to survive, and in order to do that he have to do so many bad things, and slowly he become more and more heartless, he become more and more evil. And I like that a lot. I think that reflect reality. If you are in the country that have more equality, you wouldn't like this movie a lot, I believe. But if you are in the country that like night and day, if you are upper class and lower class, you would like this movie a lot because it felt so real. How one people would turn to be evil just to survive. But also this movie is not perfect. I think the same thing that people would criticize about this is it is too long, a little bit too long, and also a little bit too rushed to things that not supposed to happen at the same time. Maybe because this movie was from the book, the novel, so the director, the people that made this movie, they might want to tell so many things in this movie, then maybe there was too much to tell. If it was 4 hours long, it might be a lot better as a movie, because the final act of this movie felt so rushed and something that I don't think it was logical enough. The first half of this movie was pretty slow, but I like it because it slowly create atmosphere and also let us see the growth of the character as Snow. So I like it. I think they did a great job, but because maybe they need more time, they need a longer movie, but that might be long enough, so they need to rush things in the end, and it felt there are things that I don't believe it would actually happen, so I don't want to spoil it. I don't like something in the second half. But that's all, guys. Great movie for me. I don't know what people would say. A lot of people say it is very boring. I don't know. Maybe I think most of the people that say this movie is boring, they are in first world country, the country that have a lot more equality, so they might not understand the oppression. Maybe that is the part. I felt everything in this movie. I think it reflects the feeling of people under dictatorship a lot. It did a very great job in this. And that's all, guys. Thank you. See you. Don't forget to do YouTube things.